Hey guys, my name is Sediak and welcome back to another episode of FoolsTown here in City Skylines 2. Where in the last episode, boys, we extended the highway area to make good access to this brand new piece of land which we are yet to work with. We had to transform a lot of our train line as well, we had to kind of readjust some stuff, and we're hoping that the new highway intersections are going to work wonders. If not, they're going to go up in a blaze of glory and we're all going to pretty much cry. Time will tell if that was the right idea, but it now gives us access to this area and we've got a couple of things all set up. The train line going down to the harbour is a little bit better. I wouldn't say it's improved, but it's a little bit better. And we've got a couple of access points right now for this area for the highway junctions. We've got a big trumpet over here. We implemented one over here as well. And we kind of utilised the road that runs down to the space centre to hook him back up to a big clover leaf. But we're also going to extend a lot of the roads coming from our big grid format to access a lot of low density residential housing and suburb neighbourhoods all in this area. Now there's a lot I want to do in this city still, and there's still quite a lot I need to unlock as well to kind of get all up and running. So if you are enjoying the series and want to see more, then make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But do we have this train currently exporting right now? It has a bunch of furniture, concrete and pharmaceuticals on the way to the cargo harbour. So it's either going to store it or export it. So what are we going to do today then? Well, we need to figure out the road layout, the main spine roads that link up all of the kind of connections, which is only 2 connections off the highway, and to the roads that pass over as a grid format as well. So what I want to do first then is just figure out what roads are we initially bringing over here from our grid. Now I know we got this main one running over here at the moment, but coming off this road I want to bring out another 4 lane that comes down this way, which then passes over, maybe kind of utilize and connects up to this one to kind of go down in this way because it's going to access more areas. We're going to probably underpass or overpass these roads as well as nice little kind of additional extras to link to a big spine road that kind of connects to these junctions as well. And then from that we're going to try and design a nice flowing kind of system for all the roads for this low density. I don't want to go high density because it can cause a lot of traffic issues and it gets a little bit crazy. And I'm trying to keep my population a little bit lower than what it is right now. Also, I still don't know what's going on with these guys, with the fact that the garbage is piling up. I might need to build some garbage facilities over on this side. The only garbage facilities we currently have right now... Actually, where are my garbage facilities? Wait, do I even have garbage facilities? I do. Over here is a nice big chunk. We got a couple over there. But yeah, that's kind of right. We don't really have many over here. Not saying that that is the reason they're not picking up the garbage, but we could utilize some additional garbage facilities. There we go. If we can even English right now in this vicinity. But we'll come back to that in a little bit later anyway. So, first things first then is getting these 4-lane roads, which is what we've got set up over here. I'm going to bring this off, leading this way. So I bring that just out right now. I can see it's probably needing some type of a roundabout at some point. And we're going to lead this over. Now, how are we going to lead it over? Truly, I don't know just yet. But if I bring this road leading down there, as if it's connecting off that, to see what we can do for some type of a kind of bendy bridge going up. So if I lead this over to there, bring it slightly... Oh, is it not going to... I don't think it likes the idea straight away of... I mean, it might change with a bend. It might change with the bend. No, it's definitely not going to change with the bend. I wonder why it's having issues straight away then. Maybe we kind of slightly change this a little bit and bring it up to a 15 or a 12. Maybe, okay, slightly over by a 12. And then we'll try and go for our bend altogether. So it's in a 111 almost. Oh, there we go. And I think what we'll do, we'll delete this and then kind of push it back a little bit. So grab you straight down to there. And it leads us over. So these roads flows. Now this here will kind of keep it as a little bit of a dead end because I can utilize something within this area. No idea what it could be, but we can kind of build something pretty sweet over there. So that road flows over, this road flows over, which I'm going to extend it slightly. I'm going to go a little bit not OTT, but a little bit larger. Obviously, I want to follow the flow of the ground, so I can see where we're going to be pretty much running all of this. Now, my next one's going to come off this as well. So bringing this out, I think I'll bring it to about there. And this is going to also kind of go for a nice big glorious... I'll go for a 12.5 first. And... oh, hang on. That's going to clip through. Actually, do you know what I might do? Delete this back a little bit to there. And let me see if I can do some magic here. So this is all kind of like guesswork right now. And I like the idea of the guesswork because it also potentially means that my kind of systems, my grids that I build with the neighborhoods that I want to try and get set up are gonna have unique designs because none of these roads have been designed to align. You know what I mean by that? They haven't been designed to be aligned in any way, shape or form, so that's where you kind of then start to get some unique stuff. So if I brought this over and I went shabam on almost on a 90 degree to reach there, bam, and then cut this all the way down, you kind of almost get something glorious happening, but you kind of at the same time don't. So if I bring this over as well, we're now down to, we'll go to a 10 there, and then with a little bit of a complex curve, we'll go bam, bam, well, bam. Nice little bend. So it wiggles around the school slightly and passes over. Just to give us a little bit of breathing space. Now, all these roads don't make sense with their alignment. And that's where the unique designs for the neighborhoods will kind of come into play. Now, that's just free. I want to also hook up these two going up and over to give us, again, a little bit of a different kind of idea of where we can run. Now, this one, I don't know whether to make slightly semi-parallel. So I might come out by the 112 and then go down this way. So there's me going like, it's not going to be a grid format, and there's me making a grid format directly from the get-go. But, you know, some areas will work, some areas won't. So bringing this up to a 10. And then is there like a little bit where it kind of clips in? It's about there awkwardly. So if I bring that straight over and then bring it straight down. And I might only bring it to there. Now I might make it kind of turn off to go in that way. Same with this. So we're just using that as like a little bit of a marker point. But ultimately we've got different plans for this area. We're going to have different plans for this area. So same with this. I might go for, well, first things first. We've got to bring it up to a 10. So bring that to there. If I pass it over just to there for a split second. Bam. 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 And then bring it down like that. Right. We've got some roads flowing over, yet they don't make no sense. But they're going to be very interesting. So, looking at it then, I don't think we need any more overpasses. It's just now trying to figure out a way to bring them all together. Now, the question is, will we have... oh, there goes the rocket, boys. There goes the rocket. Question is, will we have something going through here? Now, because we've got the kind of the ramped up area over here, it kind of makes sense that we would need something over here. Maybe this is where we can build the new garbage area that's probably going to be needed. We'll hook it up to over here anyway, so they've got like an easy highway access, but then you can drive through here to serve this area and also utilize these roads as a shortcut route to the downtown section over there. So that kind of works. That does kind of work. And I think what we need to do right now then is kind of build the road that connects up to this big intersections. And then we'll then figure out where the road, or the spine road, will run through as a type of connection. So we're going to stick to the 4-lane roads. It just makes sense for us at this moment in time. And let's bring this back down to earth. Now we'll pick here and we'll go slightly out. Oh, hello. I got the continuous curve on there. I forgot about that. And then we'll hook up these little highway roads. So maybe the continuous curve might help us out here. I might kind of get rid of you. And then go bam, bam, bam. Hold on. What's going on here? Bam. Bam. Right, not pretty, but it will do the job. It would do the job. I got confusing for a second, thinking like, wait, what's going on here for a moment? Right, let's bring this out anyway. There we go. A little bit further, maybe. Bam. So, do that there. So, it'll allow us to figure out where we can run stuff. Now, this one's going to come out a little bit as well, but I think that's where it would kind of then begin, where it then spirals or spines or snakes through the area, eventually leading up to where we'll have like a nice little garbage area. Now, let's try and replicate this. So, bringing this out to a certain degree. And we're going to try the same here. So, no snapping on. And let's go from this side. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Just as ugly as the other one that we implemented. But forget that for a moment because we are now rocking and rolling. So if I bring this so far out. Okay, that's gone slightly slanted. It's kind of picking up all different alignments, isn't it? That's what it's pretty much doing. Do I make it bend with us or T-junction it? Because if I T-junction it, the other area's got to go somewhere. So I don't think that would work. I think we kind of make it bend with us, right? So if I pick, for example, here, and then I went for like a 120 by 120 bend. That didn't go to plan, did it? No, 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 sorry. Right, delete you. I think because of the angle that I was currently at. So 120 by 120-esque bend. Because I can then do a nice little spiraling out kind of format leading through. And then I don't really want to kind of snap to all of that. But let me figure out where we're going to run underneath next. So making this go straight. Can I make it then go through here? Yeah. So that's where the road's going to eventually lead out to there. So we kind of want to bring it down or kind of bring it into here to then make it go down and then through this way. I might actually utilize where the roads currently end. And by that, what I mean is maybe just this one. So if I go 120, if I go 120 to there. So that will have to then kind of bend down to then find its way down this way. So if I just go to here, it's a nice little bit of a straight run. But how does a continuous bend here work out? So if I went like that, that's actually not too bad. Because it gives me the ability to access all these areas and not cause too much chaos. Now, we've got to figure out a way for this because I need to bring this down. But I think I might bend that inward. So we'll kind of turn it in. So if I can get a road to lean down this way to bend in, we'll turn these both in and see if we can match these at the same junction. So we're minimalizing the amount of stop-starts vehicles have to do. So if I went, for example... Now, this is going to be a complete and utter random guess. But if I went for something like here, right, I'll make this longer than it needs to be. And if I pick, for example, then let's come out there by 120, there by 120. We should make these bend into them. And then we'll figure out the bend just here then as well. Right, I think we got an idea. It's almost like we know what we're doing. And let's be honest, guys, we have no idea what we're doing. Right, so let me find the snapperoonie this way. So the snapperoonie needs to be in just there, about there. So it's a 93. Okay, we'll go 91. It will still work. Straight down. Now, this one is a much shorter bend. So that's going to take place just there, which is a 87, 88. That will do me just fine. So that bends into there then. And then we can utilize that as one junction. We can whack a roundabout down if needs be. And what I might do with this, bring this out a little bit more to then kind of turn in to cut through. So we'll have little kind of sections running here, there, and everywhere. So if I just delete this back a little bit, and then bring it out a little bit more, not too much, and then we'll kind of bend this up and round. So that becomes a 102 by a 101. That will do us just fine. Nice. And then bring that down and round this way. But let me just figure out first then where these additional connections could be placed. So if I brought this up here, so I don't know whether to kind of make it that short. Let me just bring that to there and then bring this a little bit further down. But I reckon what we could do is just delete that back to there. Or even just kind of delete it to there for just a moment. And where it is still slightly elevated, we kind of bring it down that way. And then, do I just whack in the world's largest bend? Like that to flow through and down. So that almost runs parallel with this. Pretty nice, not going to complain. Now, where does this 4-lane road then meet? This area. So that's a 164. Oh, that's not going to work out. That's not how I wanted it to go. So a 164, 165. There we go. So it all kind of flails down and through, and then we'll have roads linking off it and going here, there, and everywhere. So we've got this road now coming into here, which is obviously also like another main access point, which we've got to decide where it kind of then runs to. We'll have a 4-lane road just slightly coming off here, so a 120 just there, and we'll kind of get that to kind of frail out or lead down to. Do you know what I can actually do? I don't know whether this will kind of cause us issues. This might cause us some issues, but if I come to here, I don't know whether I'm asking for trouble for this one, but then again, thinking about it, in reality, how much traffic are we going to see coming from this junction? Because it's completely out the way. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm treating it as if we've got multiple areas to work with. So that was snapped to there. So if I bring that to there, I'm kind of creating like an inner ring road. Honestly, I have no idea if this is a good idea or not. Only time, but then it's all going to be low density, so we shouldn't see too much of an issue. And if I brought this up and then connect it into there, but that comes out as a 4-lane road, where we've hit it with a 2-lane road at that point. I don't know whether to kind of bulk that up, leading all the way back. It makes no sense to do that, unless I went through the whole thing. But it's kind of where we transition between the two areas, so it does work out in the long run. So if I bring you to just there, and then if I choose this, so this is a 1, 2, 3. Where's a 1, 2, 3 here? I don't know if this is too long or too short. It might be a little bit too short. This looks too clinical as a finish. Now that works. That kind of works. So logically, you kind of want to then continue that round. So if I was to do that, I can actually delete this. And then get this to maybe. Right. Am I doing too many 4-lane roads at this point? I like where this is heading. So that's to there. If I brought this to here. And then bent that 93 by 91. Ran this through. Like that. I mean, it could just simply end there. And that be it. That be it, boys. That be it. And then the little 2-lane road to there for just a min, a hot min. Right there. Because we're not really going to see that much traffic. Now, will we need roundabouts? I assume only time will tell. Only time would tell. But that's quite chaotic. But what it kind of gives us is this central ideal location. This central location where we can have, you know, offices, commercial, and then sprawl these areas out with residential going around the edges. Makes the most sense. It honestly makes the most sense. Now, we'll have little roads that connect through, wind through here, there, and everywhere, but it's where we're going to have the majority of our commercial within this vicinity. Also, I can place down the bus depot and all that kind of jazz to lead over to this, so how big of a building is something like that, the bus station? It's a fairly decent size, to be honest with you. It is a fairly decent size. So if I brought that to... Where would I want to snap this? If I brought that to there, is there any progression of a snap in this place whatsoever? Now I'm asking for trouble, aren't I? Now I'm legit asking for trouble with a lot of this. This is where we have to then take some serious thinking into account, because it's quite easily to get caught up and create traffic magnets. So you do have to be a little bit careful there. So having little bus depots is probably a better idea, just slightly out of the area. Like if I placed a little bus, I keep saying bus depot, it's a bus station. Placing you in, extra. What's this here? Electric recharging. Electric bus maintenance upgrade. Why can't I get you in? Bus maintenance upgrades? What's all this about? Oh, is it... Wait. It's to do with this building, right? That's what it's to do with. So what I could also do is add in a little bit of an alleyway leading up to there. A little bit. It's kind of then like a side street, isn't it? A little bit of a side street where I can throw in the bus thingy-majiggy and bobbing booty here. Electric buses, the additional extension for more buses on the road, but then also the taxi garage comes into play as well. So double extensions there. Electrify those vehicles, but then also get a secondary one in, because there's not really much going to be going on in this area in general because of how it's currently set up, so we might as well get a lot of utility and service areas implemented. So it becomes like a little bit of a transport hub in many ways, but I can then utilize electric buses in that little area. Now, we'll bring round these little alleyways. So I feel like adding lots of these little alleyways in allow us to create some very, very unique areas with how we can run stuff around. Might not make much sense. Actually, I don't know whether to kind of delete you. Maybe push you over by one. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Like there. To bring this road directly through. I like the idea of like kind of filtering a bunch of alleyway roads through. It kind of makes a little bit of sense, doesn't it? It does. I've just realised I've been in pause this whole time. So it just adds a little bit additional to it. It might not make sense or be able to access all these roads, but we get a little bit out of it. The taxi is going to be a big help because that gives us an extra 60 taxis on the road. There's one spawning right now, and it's an electric one as well. So I don't know what electric does in terms of how it makes a difference within the city. I don't know, like if it means the fares are lower or pollution. Of course, it's pollution, isn't it? That is the main reason behind it. Sometimes I feel like I'm just so stupid. Now, as you've got the transportation kind of couple of links over here, I might turn this little section here into the city services. So stuff that we got that we need to get in, it's like a hospital, policing, fire. That's not hospital, that's fire. Hospital. policing and fire and stuff like that. Now, in terms of the size of the buildings, if it went really, really big, because I know we've got one over here. Ooh, I don't think we need to go that big then, to be honest with you. I think we go. I gotta remember, this is a low density area, so going small is probably the better option for us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place this down here, but I want it to be on the kind of alleyway road. But I want to connect these roads up a little bit further down the way. So if I went down to here with this one, maybe to extend it slightly, and then come off, let's say, this is a decision now, isn't it? We got to make. So if I went down to there, so I don't want to connect it to there because it's too many junctions, too close by. So what if we came off this area here, and then snapped it, or kind of tried to at least connect it to somewhere like this? So what's the best format? If I went through there, we can kind of then run this semi-straight-ish to then bend that in, bam, 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 and then run that down there. So I'm thinking if I flip this round, or at least pull it onto this side. And then is it the fire station that's a little bit smaller? It is. It is a lot smaller. Medical facility, that's a lot smaller as well. So I put that dead opposite. If I delete this road and then just make it a little bit shorter. And then we'll just have like paths that make it walkable. I'll extend the buildings just a moment. Let me just kind of get these paths set up. So there to there. And then you to there. Make it walkable there, and we can put in a commercial building on the inside just to kind of fill the gap. Now we'll extend it anyway. We'll add an extension wing to the building itself, and then we'll have an ambulance depot onto it. We'll add an extension to the building too, and then obviously we need to get the fire services down as well. No, I don't want to go for large. Keep it nice and small. But I reckon, what else do we need to get in? Obviously, death care is another one. I got cemetery versus crematorium. Now I'll do this in a different area to this. Schooling could be one, but I want to keep that separate. You know what we actually will do? Can I squeeze in the road maintenance depot building? That's quite an oblong shaped building, isn't it? That's something that could potentially go around this area. In fact, it could go here, because it fills this gap quite nicely. So just making sure that we've got enough space for it. So if I whap that in just there, kills that little bit of an area. And that's what I mean by it. I want to use these little alleyways to create little kind of shortcuts and stuff like that. To me, it makes a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense. Now, we'll add in an additional one to connect to there with the crossing. Meaning we got this little space here to work with something like the fire station. Now, this itself, that's the only extension I can do to it, so it kind of... I've got more room than I need for it, to be honest with you. I do have a lot more room than I need. I don't know whether it makes sense to maybe get or extend this down the back of it. And then maybe to move this over to here or something. And then continue all of this. We'll find stuff to kind of fit within it. We will find stuff. We will find stuff, but it's just about utilizing the space as best as we can. Now, I could throw a little park down, or a little bit of a tourist attraction. Actually, we've got no tourist attractions left. Soccer field, American football, like a plaza. There's a large plaza, which is way too big, but we got like small plazas, which could fit within there. But again, I'm going to save it until we know fully what we're doing. So we've got some of the vehicle stuff there, which obviously we do need to create routes and stuff like that. We've got some of the city kind of services there, the police, the fire, the medical. Now, there wasn't any other ones I need, is there? Signature buildings, we can maybe squeeze some signature buildings in at some point. And what kind of jazz. I'll save the schools for like areas. Oh, what's this one over here? We've got the research. No, we've got all them in. That's where we need to look at what we haven't unlocked. Like the research place over here. Fire. No. Prison. Central bank. And the CIB. Basically the CIA. the server farm and all that kind of jazz. Disease Control and Health Research Institute. All that stuff we are yet to unlock, which is kind of wild in a way, isn't it? Right, so we are going to utilize many of these little alleyways, but we are also going to utilize these 2-lane roads as well. Now, let's start with, I'm thinking about starting with just down here to begin with. So we'll have the generic road. So if I come off there and bring this up and round, and I'm going to get this to loop itself round to connect into here is what it's going to do. So I'm going to utilize this continuous bend so we can have a little bit of fun with it. And by a little bit of fun, we're not really going that far. You know what I mean? Right, I didn't mean to go too straight with that. So bring this down to here, and then we'll kind of bend it in. Just there. So it doesn't really go far, but it creates like a little bit of a miniature loop. And I want to utilize these little narrow alleyway roads to create these little cul-de-sacs in many ways, but also to create little mini loops from them. So bringing that down, and we'll get this to kind of loop itself into here. So we're creating these small, now this reminds me of like the UK slightly. It does kind of remind me of the UK kind of city setup, or well, especially where I live, like in Birmingham, stuff like that. You have like these big major roads, and then you have these little off loops that kind of connect to it, where off these little roads you'll have like a little bit of a cul-de-sac maybe come off like there, and just here as well, spiking out. You can have one that kind of comes in, and we have this little section that leads in like that. This reminds me of Birmingham so much. And then we'll lead that down to there, and then we'll kind of come off in this way, and then bend it ever so slightly like that. Yeah, that reminds me of like a simple estate in the inner city areas of Birmingham. It's not that posh, guys. Don't get confused. Don't get it twisted right now. But yeah, that works really well. Now, we could do it very, very similar there, where that could then continue to link up, but it's mainly going to be this that runs to a link up over here, because you don't want too many through roads, because that's where traffic tends to persist. Now, we'll come off, let's say, this way to a link going that way. But this is normally how it works, like little loops link to other loops, and then some loops are dead ends. But you have the main flowing road. That was a mouthful to say, wasn't it? Oh my goodness me. So we'll come off it anyway, in our many ways. And I'll kind of start with the major routes, and it will kind of back on to like a bunch of shops and stuff. But I like this. I like the close-knit community vibe we're kind of almost creating. There we go. We'll end it just there with that bit. We'll have this coming out there, and then like that. Now around here we'll have like another cut in, but it does nothing for linking up to the back end. It's mainly to kind of cover the intersection here. Like that, and then we might have a little spike out, a little bit of a spike out, but that's pretty much all it does. It just kind of gives us the ability to kind of cover this area. We can have you coming out slightly as well, but nothing really comes from it. Very nice. And then we'll kind of fill this area in, so we can utilize, let's say, this junction as well, and then we'll kind of bend off this. So it comes together quite nice, doesn't it? I kind of want to do this darting around as just have like a different vibe altogether in this area. It's going to take some doing though. It is going to take some doing. And I'm hoping there's not too many junctions where it causes traffic. It's just this game is very unpredictable at times. It can be very, very unpredictable. So we just got to keep our eyes peeled on it. Now we are starting to see, we are starting to see vehicles, but it's the taxis all coming out. I just realised that. So 16 out of that one, 16 out of that one as well. So they're going to be skedoodling, doing their thing. But at least we've got a plan now, boys. At least we've now got a plan. I like this. I do like this quite a bit right now. We've got ideas. So we'll bring a road off this that'll kind of hook into another loop, and then we'll do another loop backing onto themselves, because it's really just kind of skirting around the edges. These roads will flow through, and we'll create a flow through, and it'll come off there with a 2-lane, maybe bring it around here as well. But this is going to be where we do some garbage accessibility, and we'll hook that road up down to here. So we have access to the highway, and then obviously through here and link into the main city. So I don't think we need more garbage processing capabilities. I don't think it's more the processing capabilities. I think it's more the coverage. Even though the coverage looks good, if a vehicle had to go from here, it's got to drive all the way across the city to get to where it needs to process that garbage. So I think it's mainly just the reach. It says it's green, but I don't believe it, boys. I honestly don't believe it. So we'll turn this into a big shopping district in the next episode. It might be a good idea to also extend the subway system coming down to here. A nice little end running route to access this area. Big kind of station in the middle of the shopping area, which will work out fairly well. Yeah, that's a cargo station, isn't it? Yeah. This is a subway. So the subway could pass through because the line is tracks there, so it will kind of turn and then cut through. So it's easy to access this area. In terms of trains, we can actually utilize a passenger line having a stop around here within this big transport hub before it does the little swing round skidooing through to there. But mainly it can have a little stop and then kind of connect back in. We can do some cool stuff with it. There's possibilities to really hook this area up with public transport. But you get the feel for how this area is going to work. You get the vibe of it. You get the idea of it. And I'm quite excited to see how it's going to ultimately turn out. So although we've done not too much, we've given ourselves a good starting point and a lot of work to do in the next coming episodes to really get this area up and running. Now, hopefully we're going to be coming out of winter soon. It's still December. It's been December right now for like 4 episodes. It just shows you how slow the game is simulating. Even if I do fast forward it, it just shows you how slow the game is currently simulating. I still have no confidence in this roundabout. We'll just see what happens when the rush hour hits. But I'm hoping that we've got more junctions leading it down and around and crisscrossing here, there and over, that it might separate the flow of traffic anyway. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. But until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.